We with Zio like to follow 3 steps. The first step is called getting skin ready, okay? These are your cleansers, your exfoliators, and your toners. And we tend to spend a little bit more time on these 3 steps than most other skincare companies because we really find the value in what I like to describe as raking the leaves before you fertilize the lawn. We got to get rid of the excess sebum. We got to get rid of the dead skin cells. If you're going to spend $175 on growth factor serum, $330 on firming serum, you want those ingredients to dive into your pores, right? So to get maximum benefit, have those ingredients penetrate deeper. So, yes, okay, so you're going to see this little brochure as well as your product, but this will tell you for every single skin condition, normal to dry, dry and sensitive, normal to oily, acne prone, or all skin types, what you would recommend for cleansing, exfoliating, and toning. So you have the answers in front of you, which is really good. But we have 3 different cleansers here at the clinic. You carry all 3 of them. I'm a big fan of touching and feeling the product. Do you guys mind? I'll pull them out and touch and feel, because I truly believe some people really connect with product just through scent and touch.
So it's a touchy-feely kind of seminar.
Touchy-feely, yeah.
Okay, good to know.
So the first cleanser, and with Zio, just so you know what Zio stands for, you might even not know that. You'll see this little, that's Z-O for Zain Obagi. So Dr. Obagi is a world-renowned dermatologist. He resides in Beverly Hills, California. Been practicing dermatology for 40 plus, I don't know, between 40 and 45 years, I'm not quite sure. The pioneer when it came to changing pigmentation for all ethnicities, especially Fitzpatrick's 4, 5, and 6, the darker complexion. Back in the 80s, lasers and chemical peels, if you had melasma, were hard-nosed. You just kind of suffered, unfortunately. So he had come out with these amazing products like the hydroquinone, Glycolic Acid, Retinol acid, mixing all these together and using them in a protocol that changed the skin on especially the darker Fitzpatrick scales. But now, of course, today the technology's changed. Peels and lasers can almost be done on all Fitzpatrick's types, depending on what technology you have. But he's branched out not just from pigment, acne, rosacea, psoriasis, eczema, and of course anti-aging as well. So we're going to go through all those products today, but we still, before any of those conditions can be met, we want to start off with the first step called getting skin ready. You'll see you have GSR kits or getting skin ready kits that just launched. These are excellent. They're $59 for the 3 items, the gentle cleanser, the polish, and the complexion pad. More in travel sizes, but it's a really good place to start because one of our cleansers is $59. This way you get like a 6-week sort of supply, see what kind of results you can get, and then come back and buy those full-size items. But if you're interested in something like daily power defense and the whole regime, and you don't have the extra money to buy all those in full-size items, you get that value in that little kit for $59, which is a steal. So that kit also makes a great little intro acne kit for like the children, kids, teens, I should say, children. 10 and up is safe to use, just so you know, we'll go through that.
How long does that last you when you take that?
It's around 6 weeks. But give or take, depending on, some people can make that cleanser and things last far longer. Others, go through it a little bit.
So $59 for 6 weeks isn't bad.
Yeah, but really, honestly, a decent price point.
They've been selling really fast.
We sold them all 2012 days. I'm sorry, 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
So we were like, yep, there they go.
They're awesome.
They're gone.
Yeah.
So luckily, unfortunately, they're not always all the time purchase. Luckily, they will be launching around 4 times a year. So kind of quarterly, they're going to come out with this GSR kit. So the first step, you guys, is to cleanse. We have 3 different cleansers with Zio. The first one in your product workbook, is that the hydrating cleanser? What's the first one?
Yes.
Hydrating. Okay, perfect. So the hydrating cleanser, if you guys could all like power hand in, and I'll put a little bit of the hydrating cleanser on here, unless you already use it. But I want you guys to touch and feel and smell. It's kind of like a light pink, cool with almost texture. It's kind of moussey a little bit. This has 4 different hydrators in there. It also has a calming agent known as allantoin. So this helps to calm, reduce redness. Usually dry skin is a bit more chapped and irritated. So we love the scent of this one. Has that mild pink grapefruit,
Yeah,
very
it's really
subtle.
nice. It's
It
very
will
nice.
break down and emulsify makeup. Considering it looks creamy, there's no filmy residue left behind. So you will get that squeaky clean. You just don't feel parched or stripped. So some people are concerned because it's kind of a creamy looking and it's going to leave a bit of a residue behind on the skin. Not at all. I even have some acne prone patients that are on medications like Accutane, other prescriptions that are causing them to dry out that really love this cleanser to replenish hydration, but without leaving a, greasy, filmy residue behind. How, excuse me. How long should we tell our patients to cleanse for? Do you guys know that?
It's 60 seconds.
A minute. So 1 full minute. We want to break down the makeup. We want to get rid of the dirt, impurities, things like that. 60 seconds is longer than you think. I've tried this on myself and I'm like, I'm a little shy of the 60 seconds. Take a little bit more time. So twice a day, morning and night, and dry patients will sometimes not cleanse in the morning because they feel it over dries. Here's the problem with that. Even dry skin has a little bit of sebum, and if you're not removing that little bit of oil in the morning when you wake up, your fabulous daily powder defense that retails for $166, that's water-based, is going nowhere because oil and water don't mix, right? So if you don't remove that tiny little bit of oil, even though a little bit, then that daily powder defense is having a harder time getting through. So 60 seconds, twice a day, morning and night for cleansing. All of these cleansers are, of course, face and body. They can be used on the body as well, if anybody's asking. The next cleanser.
Just a question.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a cleanser plus moisturizer at the same time to address that concern?
Well, there's some hydrating properties left behind, but if you're on the drier side, you feel like that it's not enough. Like for me, if I feel like, I still want a moisturizer there. I feel like it's not quite. It hydrates, but you'd still need that cream. You'd still need that extra hydration in there.
I see.
Yeah, I that's my preference anyway, to be honest. I'm sure you could get away with it, but I feel like
It'll never be as good as a real moisturizer.
Yeah, totally,
Yeah.
100%. So then we'll see exfoliating cleanser as sorry, thank you. It's about that. Exfoliating cleanser is the most fun. So this one has the beads, the blue beads and the white beads in here. So you'll see there's 2 different beads. Sorry, are you wanting to be included in the touch feel?
Maybe I'm just not a touchy-feely type.
That didn't sound probably right either. Sorry.
I mean, they're sharing Kleenexes and skincare and in the age of coronavirus. Exactly.
Luckily, there's no cases here in Alberta. In Alberta, I don't know about Saskatchewan. Are there any cases there?
No.
Maybe just Ontario.
Being in Saskatchewan, they feel very insulated from this and
Yeah.
from the world in general about everything. Like,
About everything. It's
just
not
cut off,
the virus.
cut off.
They really like that.
The exfoliating cleanser, it smells fresh too. You'll notice there's white beads. Those white beads are environmentally friendly. They're not plastic. They're jojoba esters. They will break down in the water over time, but they're going to help slough off the dead skin cells that trap sebum and bacteria below the pore, causing blocked pores, congestions, and breakouts. And then you have something called salicylic acid. This is the key ingredient in here for oil. It's really good at breaking down oil. Nice little analogy here is, you guys know, if you wash a greasy pan in your sink, all the oil beads go to the surface, and then you put your palm olive and they all disperse. That's a little bit kind of what salicylic acid is doing. In a visual, I'm a visual person, so I have some weird analogies, but it's really helping to break down oil. It also gives a bit of chemical exfoliation. The salicylic acid acts a little bit like Pac-Man and eating all the dead skin cells on the surface that traps sebum and bacteria below the pore. So twice a day, especially if you're congested or acne prone, morning and night exfoliate or cleanse the skin, I should say, for a full minute. Now, Dr. Obagi is starting to recommend in the evening for women who wear a lot of makeup and are pooling oil or acne prone, double cleanse at nighttime. So that's one pass is your makeup removal. The second pass is your really good degreaser kind of a thing. Use your discretion, but if you see that lady, she's pooling oil, has acne, or just even really enlarged pores and oily skin, have her do a double pass at nighttime.
With the exfoliating cleanser.
Yeah.
Is it too much to use the exfoliating polish?
No, we do it all the time.
Okay,
Yeah, these are, it's really gentle,
really
this
nice.
polish.
It seems
And those
yeah.
beads are, there's no jagged edges. They're perfectly spherical and round. They're not going to cause micro tears in the skin. You'll notice the blue beads if you pressed on them first. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
So that's your antioxidant that gets released. So there's antioxidants in here, but salicylic acid, if anybody wants to know around the percentage, it's just shy of 2%. I think it's like a 1.98% sal acid that's in there. So close enough to 2%, but it's going to really help break down excess sebum. Then you have those mechanical beads sloughing off the dead skin cells that trap sebum and bacteria below the pore. I can use all three cleansers because I'm kind of combination skin, but love the exfoliating cleanser. And then the gentle cleanser is actually one of our top sellers. This one all skin types can use. This one I find men tend to gravitate to it the most. And I think because the gel, the texture, it actually works as a shaving gel. So there's an antimicrobial component to it if you suffer from folliculitis or razor burn. It's really good for helping to reduce the razor burn. Has a good glide with the razor. Ladies, you can use this on our legs or wherever. So I've heard from a few females in some of my clinics that in the bikini region, if they shave there, they suffer from razor burn. When they use this guy downstairs, it goes away. They're like, whenever I have this, it's gone. But yeah, so I have no clinical studies to support that, mind you, but these are kind of little pearls I pick up at all my clinics. So the gentle cleanser has your glycerin, which is a humectant to attract moisture, and then you have some botanical extracts in there to feed the skin nourishment. Then there's that antimicrobial component. It lathers the most. I'll give you a chance. Yes, I passed it on around her. Sorry, it's like Groundhog Day every time I go to a new clinic. Did I do this already? So yeah, it's got a really good slip. Less is more. I'm always choking on bubbles. I always put too much. Always. And then I would every time I'm like, too much, Sarah, too much. If you wear a lot of makeup, I find this one, I think probably due to the fact that it lathers the most, does remove the makeup the most too. Although they, of course, all remove makeup. I just find, especially eye makeup, that one tends to do the trick with me without having to do a little like extra underneath the eye mascara removal or what have you. So those are your three cleansers. We love them all. They do extremely well. The one that comes in the GSR kit is the gentle, and it's good for all skin types.
And that one you use twice a day?
Yep, you betcha. Now,
So what's the difference? This is a very ignorant question, by the way. That's coming from a guy. So what's the difference between the cleanser versus just washing your face with soap?
oh, well, I can't give you all the ingredients and all the soap. There's a lot of ingredients in soap that strip and affect the pH of the skin. All of our cleansers are pH balanced so that the skin's not starving for either too alkaline or too acidic or what have you. So they're all pH balanced. There's a lot of ingredients in soap that are drying. There's nothing in here that's going to dry up the skin. Salicylic acid breaks down oil, doesn't cause the skin to dry out. So there's a lot of ingredients in like listen, I was a Dove girl for years before I got into, professional stuff.
Yeah.
I used to be a Dove girl. Loved the way it squeaked, loved the way it filmy residue, wasn't doing anything for my skin, didn't have any antioxidants in there and other key benefits. So your drugstore, you're also getting medical grade salicylic acid versus just general salicylic acid. So you're gonna see salicylic acid in cleansers at the drugstore, but it's not pharmaceutical grade. So there's a difference in how salicylic acid maybe at Sephora or a salicylic acid at your Shoppers.
Is it in the common brands like St. Ives and those places?
Yeah, St. Ives wouldn't have any acids in it as far as I know. They're more gentle, but you'll see a Regina, things like that. That would have salicylic acid, glycolic acid. This is just more of a pharmaceutical.
So Shoppers Drug Mart type things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the next step in our GSR, get skin ready, is step 2 is going to be to exfoliate. Have you guys all touched the polish before? Yeah, I use that. I do love it. Yeah, I do love it. So I'm going to get out this polish because it is fabulous. And I don't know, so those are toners because they're coming next. So exfoliating. Oh, what I wanted to mention: exfoliating cleanser with the sal acid for oily acne-prone skin, ages 10 and up are safe to use it. Your oil glands go into production kind of around age 10. So you're going to have some moms ask you, is this safe for my kids? 10 and up, we can claim yes. Below that, it's up to the discretion of the parent. Gentle cleanser and hydrating cleanser should be fine for all skin, all ages. But the salicylic acid, we like to kind of stick to your 10 and up because your oil glands aren't producing before age pH 10. You don't want to
And you
overdo
said it
it.
won't over dry your skin.
It shouldn't over dry your
So even
skin.
if you have dry skin, if you like that.
Well, the salicylic acid doesn't need to strip any more oil in it. You're probably
Yeah.
not going to go for that one, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, if you suffer from KP, keratosis pilaris, little bumps in the back of the arm, that exfoliating cleanser is really nice because that salicylic acid is going to help with that a little bit too. You can actually leave that cleanser on your face. So you can cleanse your face for a minute, rinse, pat dry, then apply a thin layer of the exfoliating cleanser again all over the skin or just in the T-zone congested areas. Leave it on for 15-20 minutes like a mask. Then bubble it up and remove, and you can better do extractions if you have problematic blackheads and things like that, because it eats the dead skin cells on the surface, and you're better able to do extractions under that. So I've heard this little pearl from a few accounts as well.
Yeah.
Now the polish, do you want to touch and feel it, or you're good? Have you touched it yet? Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Well, is Jessica still kicking around? We still have Jessica at the clinic?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
She's alive and kicking.
Good. She's always so busy and running around and everything. Nice to see her, but she's still here. This exfoliating polish, give it a whiff, first of all. There's that little, do you remember how it's kind of the tea? Okay. So there's tea tree in here. Tea tree is wonderful for antibacterial, anti-inflammation. This is good for all skin types. Whoever walks in can walk out with this product. Man, woman, young, old, acne, pigmented, dry, mature, rosacea, like literally. Everybody who walks in can walk out with one of these scrubs. This I like to describe as raking the leaves before fertilizing the lawn. We've broken down the oil, we've gotten rid of the makeup now. Now we're going to take it a step further and go a little deeper with our exfoliation. These are magnesium crystals. They're perfectly spherical and round. There's no jagged edges. Again, they're not going to cause micro tears. It's quite a bit more condensed than other exfoliators in there. Dr. Obagi is a huge advocate for exfoliation. Loose the raisin, reveal the grape. Let's take that top.
Is it safe to do every day?
Yes. So we like to do daily exfoliation with a polish. Now, for some people, that might be a little bit too much too quickly. So we'll say start 2 to 3 times a week and acclimate to building up to daily use. We don't recommend twice a day, although I have some girls in my clinic that swear it changed their life. For me, it seems like a little bit too much. So normally you'll see in our protocols the exfoliating polish to be used in the morning. Doesn't mean you can't use it at nighttime. If you have, some people have more time at night to do their regime versus the morning. But if you're going to do a high retinol, like a radical night repair, retinol, skin brightener, and things like that, just to do that deep exfoliation prior to the retinol might just make your skin a bit more sensitive. Doesn't mean you can't do it and that's wrong. You just might see more anticipated reaction if you do that. So we usually say the morning, but it can honestly be done at nighttime or in the morning. But if you're using a high retinol, kind of keep it to your AM so you don't overdo it, okay? Those magnesium crystals are shaped like a golf ball. There's little divots that go into that sphere. So again, no jagged edges. As it travels around on your skin, collects excess oil, dirt, debris, impurities, things like that. Then it's got what's known as our ZOX12 complex. This just means we have 12-hour time-released antioxidants of A, C, and E. So it's going to brighten the skin, encourage new cellular communication or turnover, defend against environmental stress like your smoke and pollutants, all very, very good things. Now, I know you rinse this product off, but there are trace amounts of those antioxidants in the tea tree and things like that getting left behind onto the skin. Like I said, we discussed 2 to 3 times a week build up to daily use. If you can do it right out of the gate every day, go for it, especially if you're oily acne prone. They kind of need a little bit more exfoliation than the normal or the dry customer, getting rid of the dead skin cells that are trapping sebum and the excess oil. So we love the smell. You'll notice a mild warming sensation with some water. Do you find that there's a little bit of a warming sensation?
It's almost like when you chew gum,
Yeah.
like that feeling for like on my face.
Oh, weird.
Like
Okay.
when I like fan
Like
it,
cinnamon
it feels
gum?
really cold, but otherwise
Oh.
it's like warm.
Yeah, there's a little something that's there. And we also ask that you massage this on for a minute. So it's a minute to cleanse, a minute to exfoliate. You will be pink. Good. Pink is in. Hello, we know that. That means the skin's being stimulated. Something's happening. Dr. Obagi loves pink skin. Not long term always.
Is that pink? Is that pink or red?
It's a fuchsia.
It's a dark pink.
It's a
Yeah.
fuchsia. But that's not too bad. I've seen worse. So yes. We like that. If you didn't see that after, I'd be disappointed. It's like going to the gym and not feeling the burn during the squats. Don't go. Do you know what I mean? So it says the exfoliating polish, good for all skin types. Pea size is all you need. So I get it for free, so I, soybean size once in a while. But pea size really, and you don't have to press hard. The polish is going to polish as long as you're moving. Think if you're polishing your shoes, you're not scratching really hard. You're just kind of letting the brush do its thing. So polish the skin a minute and then rinse. Your skin pretty much meows at you. It is kitten soft after using that polish. And now whatever we put on top can dive in and really do what it needs to do. So we have another scrub called Dual Action Scrub. This one, the indication, and you'll just see the indications in the black box on the side. It'll tell you who it's good for. So you're going to notice it says oily, acne-prone skin. Listen, all skin types can use it, okay? But it's going to be more of a treatment for oily, acne-prone skin because it says dual action. So it's going to do two things now. You're going to get mechanical exfoliation like you would in the polish, but we also throw in 2% salicylic acid and lactic acid. So now you're getting chemical plus mechanical exfoliation. So the salicylic acid, again, breaking down the oil, and then the lactic acid restoring some hydration, but you have 3 times more tea tree in here than you do in the polish for additional antibacterial, additional anti-inflammation. It feels very different than the polish. There's almost a slinky, sort of almost an oily, is not, but you'll see what I mean when you get a chance to touch and feel it. The beads also feel significantly larger, and that's because they are. They're a wax bead versus magnesium crystals. Both the beads in the scrubs and the cleanser, in the dual action scrub, all the beads in all the products, whether it's a cleanser or a scrub, are environmentally safe. But the reason that we chose a larger bead in here is because if you have inflamed acne, papules and pustules that are ready to kind of extract, and you're using too fine of a grittiness for your scrub, you can almost rip those things off, So we don't want to rip anything off. We just want to float over top of those papules and pustules while still getting some exfoliation. So it feels a little bit gentler to the touch as it is mechanical component, but it's going to do more therapeutically for its chemical component because we've got the sal acid, the lactic acid, 3 times more tea tree. This too has the same ZOX12 complex, those vitamins A, C, and E that are 12-hour time released. I suggest washing this one off, ladies, because it kind of leaves that little, there's almost that little oiliness to it. It kind of is going to stick on your hand for longer, and you're going to feel it every time you try something else on your hand. So just a tip to help you guys out.
So is tea tree the main component for acne treatment?
And salicylic acid. So both the salicylic acid in here to break down
Because of the oil from the...
Yeah, and then also the tea tree for anti-inflammation, antibacterial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know it treats antibiotics with acne. So,
exactly.
but is that the only antibacterial thing?
It'd
That's
be the tea tree in here.
Yeah.
And then the salicylic acid, again, breaking down the oil and acting like a chemical exfoliant, eating dead skin cells that traps some bacteria. So listen, I don't have inflamed acne, papules, I can use either one. And some people actually feel their skin feels more hydrated after they rinse that one off.
Actually, that one better for
Isn't
I
I
don't know
switched a lot of
why.
people over. I'm
why.
still a polished girl myself because I like the refined grit, but I like the way when you rinse this off how that feels.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
little something left behind
It's
on
so
the
soft.
skin that's super delicious and soft.
Oh,
And I'm glad you felt it.
Very nice. Yeah, very nice.
So those are the 2 scrubs. Choose your, scrub based on skin condition. Like I said, acne, dry, mature, young, old, everybody can do the polish. And to be honest, everybody can do the dual action scrub too, but it's more indicated for congested acne prone. It will be more of a therapeutic treatment and will get them there faster by using the dual action scrub because now it's more medicinal with the sal acid and the extra tea tree. And
And is that once a day as well?
we would ask that you get up to that. Yeah,
Oh, gotcha.
If you can start, listen, if they can do it daily right out of the gate, great. It also depends Amazon has the doctor prescribed Accutane or, benzoyl peroxides or retinoic acids, and this acne-prone patient's already suffering from a bit
Of
too
dry.
much, then you might want to change what you recommend.
Yeah.
Instead of
Okay.
the oily cleanser, you might want the gentle cleanser for that customer. So,
Yeah.
although oily is oily, depends on what else if they're on any prescription meds, that changes things too.
Yeah.
So then we have our toning phase. This is the last step in step 1, get skin ready, cleanse, exfoliate, tone. The first one you're going to see are your complexion renewal pads. So has everybody had a chance? Don't try this today.
I haven't tried.
Had a chance to touch the pad. I want you to feel the wetness of the pad. Though if you haven't felt this, not for your face, but just for the sake of feeling it, you're gonna see it's pretty darn saturated. Can you guys feel that's a pretty wet pad? You're my last account today, so I'm just gonna show you. I mean, I think we can all figure out how to use the pad, but what I wanna show you is I like to press fairly firm. You don't have to press as firm as I'm doing. You're gonna see I'm gonna turn pink. Good, yay, pink is in, we like that. So I will do one side, but then it's still wet. I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna now do the other side. If it's still wet, come the end of that, I'm gonna do a third pass and then a fourth pass. When you really these should be almost dry when you throw it out. If it's still wet, you're not done. You didn't get all the solution. In order to change your skin, you wanna get one dose, one pad has the right amount of medication to treat your condition, give that gorgeous glow. Complexion renewal pad. What are these gonna do? Renew your complexion. How do they do that? Again, we have a 2% salicylic acid, so breaking down the oil that's causing blackheads, congestions, shiny face, and oil contributes to chronic inflammation. If left untreated, can easily turn into rosacea if you don't manage it at a younger age. And then you have your 2% glycolic acid. We love this ingredient for all skin types, not just oily. So glycolic acid has the smallest molecular weight, which means it goes furthest into the skin. So its main job is to dissolve the glue. They're called desmosomes. There's a glue that holds your dead skin cells, okay? So glycolic acid's main purpose is to dissolve that glue so that the dead skin cells can release. And so if those dead skin cells come off, we reveal smoother texture, less congestion, more even skin tone, more radiance, hence renewing your complexion. So these pads are great for everybody. It is a toner in a pad form. One pad, per day. There are some people or one pad twice a day, AM and PM, like you would a toner. The pad is quilted. It's a little bit scratchy. That's on purpose. We want to get some more mechanical exfoliation. Just like I said, Dr. Obagi loves to exfoliate. We're going to get some of that with a cleanser. Then we're going to get additional exfoliation with the big scrub. Now we're going to get whatever we missed, cleansing and exfoliating, we're going to catch with this guy here. So when we're talking about preparing the skin for therapeutic treatment, these 3 steps, cleanse, exfoliate, oil control / tone, are super important. I think in our clinical study, after 8 weeks, they were given the gentle cleanser twice a day, the polish once a day, and the acne treatment pads twice daily. There was a 24% reduction in dirt presence. That's not the dirt that's obvious to see, like a makeup or a dirt smudge. That's the dirt that's invisible in the air that gets deep into your pores. Then there was a 31% reduction in pores, 46% improvement in skin texture. So we almost changed the texture by half just by doing those 3 steps after an 8-week period. There was a 60% reduction in redness, which totally makes sense because although you'll turn pink initially using it, long term, again, oil contributes to chronic inflammation, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so, and then you have a 62% reduction or improvement, I should say, in dullness. So that dull, lackluster skin looked more radiant, looked more glowing. I love the glow you get from these pads. When it's drying, it's going to feel a bit sticky, like, oh, I don't know if I like that. Once it's dry, it's completely smooth, feels like glass. It's awesome. If you want behind the ears, in between the girls, down the back of the arms, wherever, because some people, if they have larger chest, then they're stuck together all day, and it's nice to kind of degrease in there too, or to get sweaty and what have you. So I hear a lot of girls like to Sorry if that's too much information for the video. But I put it between the ladies, just so you know, behind the ears and on the back of the arms if you want to. But one pad is meant for one use. Some people will suggest cutting that pad in half. Again, we don't love to recommend this, only because you're not getting all the solution you would get for that one application. So you're kind of cheating yourself. But you know, listen, these are $66 for the complexion pad, 70, I think, 6 for the acne treatment pad. You know, if you're a single parent on a budget, you have 2 teenagers, you know, you don't really have the bucks to kind of do it every day, twice a day, full pad. You might want to cut those pads in half. Just really make sure you're using it well. Okay, so that's kind of a bit of a back pocket thing. We always like them to use the full pad for maximum result. But again, if somebody doesn't have, you know, the deeper pockets, then it's a nice way that they can cut those pads in half and maybe share with their teenagers or what have you. So we don't often like to recommend that. Zio would like that I say that, but we all don't live in Beverly Hills, okay? So that's where all 4 of his clinics are. Money's not an issue. I've been in that clinic. I see what people walk out with. They don't even blink at $8,000. Like, it's crazy. Here,
Is money an issue here?
Well, yeah, in Alberta too, right? Especially with the oil and gas and their government. Anyway, we'll go there. So cleanse, and those complexion pads is your scrub tone. The complexion pad is the toner. Now I want, and it's good for all skin types, but you'll see it's more conditioned or indicated for normal to combo skin. Now, if you look at the acne treatment pads, I'm not going to pass it around because it smells and feels and looks exactly the same as your complexion pad, but it has some advantages, okay? So it has every single thing the complexion renewal pads have, so the glycolic acid, the salicylic acid, so we're breaking down the glue that holds the dead skin, we're helping with sebum, of course. Now we throw in a third alpha hydroxy acid known as mandelic acid. It's derived from almonds. No, if you're allergic to nuts, you're not going to have an anaphylactic reaction. It has to be ingested. Topically is not going to do anything. But what mandelic acid's main purpose is to reduce inflammation. So if you have raised, inflamed papules, pustules, your mandelic acid is going to do more to reduce that inflammation. Plus, it's going to offer a bit of brightening. So usually with inflamed acne lesions comes something called PIH, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. You pick at a blemish, there's a little discolored mark left behind. Okay, the mandelic acid offers a bit of mild brightening too. So it reduces, there's more anti-inflammatories in the acne treatment pad. There's more brightening in the acne treatment pad. Then we throw in this extra ingredient called a rosa canina extract. It also exists in our pore refiner. You're not going to repeat it to your customer. But what it does is it offers control to the sebaceous gland activity. So it really is shrinking those oil glands, helping to shrink pores. So there's more reduction of pores, extra reduction of oil. Although the complexion pads are going to, you know, reduce oil too, acne treatment pads would be a step up from that. We're going to do even more oil control in this one, more reduction of inflammation, more brightening, and we throw in witch hazel. Witch hazel is an astringent, again, for helping to tighten those pores up and control the skin. And then both pads will have the botanical extracts, antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, anti-irritants. But the acne treatment pads, if you're visibly looking at somebody and you see raised acne lesions, you're going to go straight to those acne treatment pads. Not that the complexion pads will do something for them. It totally will. But it's not going to do what the acne treatment pads are. Now listen, I don't have cystic 3D raised acne lesions. I actually prefer the acne treatment stronger pads. Why not? They're not that they're that much stronger. They're not that much stronger. They're just a bit more therapeutic to reduce inflammation. Well, pollution and sebum cause inflammation. Why not have a bit more control for that and additional reduction of that? Why not have tighter pores? Okay, yes, please. Why not have a bit more brightening?
Yeah, or even just the spot pimple that you
Yeah.
might get, like
Yeah.
that dark spot. after you
Yes,
have a
yeah,
pimple, like,
exactly.
I
To have a
don't know,
little
I
bit
should
more
do
brightening.
something crazy.
Yeah.
That would be so
Radical Apparel takes care of that. But yeah, those pads. So your complexion pads more geared towards your normal combo. Can acne use it? Totally. But your acne treatment's more that cooling oil in large pores, really the raised inflamed acne lesions. But I'll also recommend, if I'm just looking at a male or a female with really dilated pores and huge sebum, lots of cooling oil, I'll go straight to the acne pad. It doesn't have to have the inflamed acne lesions. I just want to make that clear. But if you see somebody with inflamed acne, acne treatment pads will do more than complexion pads. Does that make sense? And why you would choose one versus the other? Okay.
Which one would you recommend for rosacea?
The acne treatment pads go in a rosacea kit, and that's because extra reduction of inflammation, which is really important, and the key contributing factor to rosacea is overactivity of the sebaceous gland, over-enlargement in the sebaceous gland. So oil is the enemy for rosacea, even dry rosacea. So the fact that this reduces a bit more oil and reduces inflammation, it's in our acne kit. So that's why we choose that one. Now, case by case, 90% of the time we're going to go that way. It might be slightly different for the odd person. I had somebody buy that kit, and the acne treatment pad was just a bit too much. Switched to the calming toner, changed everything for her. So, there's going to be that odd case where it's not quite going to fit for everybody, but Dr. Obagi has these protocols, tried, tested, and true, to give you results that he does in his clinics and has been practicing for years. So that's why we recommend it. I'm going to give you the protocol booklet too.
I'm sure he still customizes it to the person, right?
Of course, absolutely. Spent 6 hours with Angelina Jolie prior to Mirza, my boss, going in there at his Beverly Hills clinic. So I'm sure things are always customized, but as a guideline, we'll follow the protocol and then we can maybe tweak where needed and things like that. Then, if you're on the drier side, I love this one. It's a non-negotiable for me, especially in our parched prairie provinces. Our calming toner, more designed as your third step for drier, sensitive skin. So you can put this on a cotton pad. To be honest, I don't. I like to pour it right into my hand. I make a little lake. I get my hands all nice and wet. And then I massage it all over the face like you would maybe an aftershave for a man, or for females, you kind of just massage it everywhere. It's not that the cotton pad is illegal to use with it, obviously, but the pad absorbs so much of the product. Yeah, please feel free to pour some into your hand. It's going to remind you of grandma. You'll know why. Grandma's soap, like that floral soap, you know what I mean? There's that. You'll feel a cooling sensation. There's menthol in here, like the acne treatment pads, gives that winter fresh, invigorating feel. The same 4 hydrators that are in our hydrating cleanser are in here. You also has that allantoin that's in our hydrating cleanser to calm the skin, hence the name calming toner, pH balancer. All of our products are pH balanced anyway, but restores the pH, adds hydration, calms the skin. There's just a whisper of glycolic acid in here. Titch, just a little bit to give some chemical exfoliation, some witch hazel for an astringent benefit. I love it. I like to stop here. If I can just do cleanse, exfoliate, tone, I'm happy. I don't want to put anything over top of it because I really like the way my skin looks after that. I know I need to because that's where all the meat and potatoes comes from, is after. It's like your prevention and correction products. But I just love the way my skin looks after this. Kind of brings back the balance, calms the skin, reduces the redness. I also love the way my skin looks after the pad. Sometimes I'll do the pad and the toner over top. But again, as a rep, you have access to everything. I don't expect people to do that. So if you're on the drier side, ladies, you're going to go for a hydrating cleanser, exfoliating polish. For the most part, there are some that would want that dual action, calming toner. That's the GSR regime, get skin ready for dry skin. If you're already acne prone, exfoliating cleanser, dual action scrub, acne treatment pad. Okay, you're gonna see that. And again, your brochure will give you that information. And then, if you're just kind of in between, that normal combo skin, gentle cleanser, polished complexion pad. Does that kind of make sense? And again, don't forget those great little cheat sheets. I'll give it there for you. Now let's get into our meat and potato items. Prevention plus correction. It's step 2. So the first step is called getting skin ready, which really does include 3 steps: cleansers, exfoliators, and toners. Step 2 is now to use our correction and prevention products. The first one you're going to see is the Daily Power Defense. We love this product. It's our #1 SKU in 120 countries around the world. It's our top seller despite the $166 price point. I think it's starting to come to be more popular in the clinic. It wasn't before. A lot of the girls were on Retinol as their moisturizer, so they pushed that more so than the Daily Power Defense. But the Daily Power Defense, you'll notice we're now in the anti-aging category. If you look up at the top of your book, you'll see, it'll say anti-aging. So always check what page you're on because some will say brightening. They're grouped together, so it'll be anti-aging, then I think it goes brightening, then acne, then rosacea, then a calming and hydration, blah blah blah. So the first one is the Daily Power Defense. This guy, you all could go home with this. Again, not today, sadly, because you have the hydrating cream on right now. You can put that on if you want to. Perfect. And that didn't burn or stain.
No,
Good. Wonderful. So I want you guys to feel the Daily Power Defense. This, you guys, is, I like to describe it as an anti-aging repairing pollution shield. And because it's doing all of those things. First of all, there's retinol. So retinol I know is new to you. Retinol, I'm gonna show you.
From next door.
I'm not gonna be able to get home without my GPS to the hotel. I don't plug that in before I go because this doesn't have into your car USB. Oh, dang it! But if this doesn't die on me, I want to because there's 4% left. I want to show you this little video about what retinol's doing. Sorry, you can feel free to zoom in on it.
No, it's cool. It's like a video within a video. It's like Inception.
Yeah. You might have to go on the other side because I'll face it this way. Let's see. It's called The Answer to Healthy Skin. And
The Answer to Healthy Skin.
on YouTube, and you'll see it comes up, and I'm going to show you. What to look for. The answer. YouTube. There we go. It's this little set. It looks like that to start this little cell animation. So I'm gonna make this big.
The other thing you can do if you want is you can email it to Michelle,
Okay.
and we'll just all watch it as a group on the
Sure.
screen later on. Yeah.
Or not do it right now. Either way, doesn't matter. It's 2 minutes long. You guys see it? Yep.
That's fine.
What happened on the skin surface will be transmitted down to the deeper layers and the body will react. To restore healthy skin, we need to understand what healthy skin is. Healthy skin is smooth, firm, and tight, even in color tone, hydrated, and strong naturally. Damaged skin consists of cells that are dysfunctioning, not working in harmony, dead, and so the vitality of the skin is lost. You will see the skin doesn't make collagen or elastin, cells are sleepy, dysfunctional. When we feed the skin from the surface with the wrong tools,
Wrong products. Too much moisture.
communication will go down to the deeper layer.
Generic soaps.
Hey, I have a lot of water
Generic
from
soaps.
this moisturizer, or I have a lot of oil from this moisturizer. Be careful. So what happens? The body reacts by shutting off the delivery of the nutrients to the skin. You can see the cells when they are overfed, they are sleepy. Usually aging of the skin also starts around age 30. The cells goes to sleep. So if you overfeed them from the surface, the body shuts off the delivery of water, nutrients, all the tools that needed for the skin to make collagen and elastin. In my concept of healthy skin restoration, I apply on the skin ZO, which consists of active vitamin A,
Retinol.
the essence
Okay.
of life of every cell in your body. When ZO particles enter the cells wakes up, they start functioning, the body restores delivering water and nutrients to the skin. The cell will start making collagen and elastin. Hydration comes from within. The activity of the skin, you see it in baby skin, is resumed.
Fun.
A new generation of cells will be created to replace the damaged or the dead or the dysfunctional one by delivering to the skin the right elements, which is the active vitamin A.
So retinol.
System, we will be able to give the skin the tools
It's different.
that restore healthy skin as we defined it at the beginning. Skin should be smooth, firm,
You
and
guys see
tight,
the before and
even
after?
in color, hydrated, strong. If you compare the before and after pictures of this patient, you will see how we can transform damaged skin to healthy skin again.
Wow, wow.
Creating the most
And that's the end of it. I just don't know. Done. So retinol speeds up your whole cell cycle. So when you're 10, your cells are turning over every 6 weeks. So your skin looks plump, healthy, hydrated, firm, smooth. But as we get older, ladies, instead of that cell cycle going every 6 weeks turning over, it's more like 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 8. So your cells aren't turning over nowhere near as fast, and they start to accumulate and accumulate. So your lines get deeper and deeper, and your skin looks more textured and dull. Doesn't look as glowy, as radiant. So feeding your skin, especially in our dry provinces, I guarantee 75% of us are guilty of this. Your skin's dry. You want to put on a greasy moisturizer to make it feel cushiony and comfortable, kind of like what you're experiencing right now. That's okay in this kind of compromised skin state. But if you're using too much water, too much oil in your moisturizers, your cells get a message saying, hey, we're going to do all the work for you up here on this top layer. So the cells don't have to do anything down below. They become weak, lazy, they go to sleep, so they're just hanging out. They're not being active and stimulating. Retinol, like he says, vitamin A, retinol is derived from vitamin A. It's the essence of life of every cell in your body. It's going to turn that 12-week back into 10, back into 8, back into 6. It's going to turn that kind of as much as it can, reverse that, okay? So retinol's great for aging. Retinol's great for pigment. Retinol's great for acne because it helps to shrink sebaceous gland activity. It's a key ingredient in all of our product. We're a retinol-based line, but we'll have anywhere from a baby dose, like the daily power defense, little bit.